Welcome to Smart Hub Tosik training. In this video we'll show you the different types of property management agreements and how they are actually replicated, or they are how the contracts under these PMA types are created. So let's start with the property management agreement issuance. As I told you before, there are 5 types of PMA, which are bank with mortgage, possessory, court letter, freehold property management agreement, investor with registered investment contract, and property management company. Now we have a Word file here where it shows the 5 types of these PMA types along with the approvals which are required and the payments, if there are any payments for these or not. So in the table you can see clearly that for the first type, for certain types of PMAs, there are some approvals which are required from the first party and second party, and there is also some approval required from the back office, and also there are payments in there. So from this table you can see it very clearly what are the approvals from the first party, second party, the back office, and for which PMA types the payments are mandatory. Now let's select the first one, the bank with the mortgage, possessory. If you select the first one, then your plot has to be, there should be a possessory mortgage on the selected plot, else you will get the error which is coming in the screen here in red. I'll just make it a little bigger so you can see it more clearly. There is no possessory mortgages on the selected plot. If you select a plot with no mortgage possessory, you will get this error. Once you select the correct one and you are going through that and you are going to make a contract for that one, it will show you this message: plot has an active mortgage. For all these kind of contracts, you can make a bank with mortgage, possessory PMA, and once you are going there in the mortgage, once you are going there for the contract, you will get the PMA type mentioned in your PMA, which says here PMA type is bank with mortgage, possessory. The second type of PMA is court letter. Any PMA which is issued by the verdict of the court letter, you have to select the court letter here, and then in the contract also, when you are creating the contract and you are getting the printout in the end, you will get the PMA type as court letter. For the third type of contract, it's a freehold property. Now the freehold PMA is only allowed on residential units. If there is any other unit other than residential, you will get an error that says please select residential units. Like for here in the given example, I have selected 2 units, both are commercial. But in this case, if you are doing so, you will get the error which says please select residential units. The second validation for these kind of PMAs will be that the unit must be registered within a freehold project. The plot what you are going to select and the project what you have selected should be considered or should be registered as a freehold. Otherwise you will get the message here, validation message, which says clearly unit must be registered within a freehold project. Once you are selecting this and everything goes fine, the third validation here is the party should be the developer who registered project in MS with valid developer license. If the license for the developer is expired, you will get this message: first party should be the developer who has registered the project in MS with valid developer license. And another thing for these for the developer should be his license should be actually active. Renew expired company license validation message. If the see here license expiry, it is 14/5/2019, so that means it is expired. If you have something like this where the developer's license is expired, you will get the message to renew it, and then only you can make the PMA. The fourth validation is the contracts for the PMA types for these kind of contracts is only for 2 years. That means PMA as a freehold property, PMA for a freehold property is allowed only to be for 2 years, not more than 2 years. The fifth validation here is second party should have a valid UAE ID. The person who is actually going to apply for this service and who is the second party in the PMA for the freehold PMA, we will be adding him by the Emirates ID, and his Emirates ID should be valid. If the Emirates ID is expired, you will get this message: Emirates ID is expired. So you have to see all these validations and go through all the validations, and then only once everything is correct and rectified, you will be able to make the contract. Once you make the contract, in the final printing of the contract, you will get the PMA type as freehold property management agreement. The fourth type of PMA is investor with registered investment contract. If the plot does not has any registered investment contract, you will get this kind of message: plot does not have active musataha or usufruct agreements. Then in that case, what you have to do is you have to select the plot which actually has the investor in the investment, the registered investment, and in that case, when you are making the contract, in the final contract printing, you will get the PMA type as investor with registered investment contract. The fifth and the last type of PMA is property management company. This is the most commonly used one, the PMC. You have to just select the PMC and you have to give the PMA details with the CN. The first party and the second party approval is required. There is no back office approval, and there is 50 dirhams for the PMA if it is less than 4 years, and if it is more than 4 years, it will be 1% of the first year rental amount if the duration is equal or more than 4 years. This kind of PMA is called property management company, and that will be seen in the final contract when you get the PMA. These are the 5 different types of PMA.